Eating healthy sounds simple. Buy vegetables, skip the soda, cook at home. But in America, it's harder than it looks for reasons most people never say out loud. I talked to dozens of people, parents, students, night shift workers, busy professionals, and the same patterns kept showing up. Not laziness, not lack of willpower, something deeper. Here are the 7 real reasons Americans struggle to eat healthy and what actually helps. Before we get into it, this isn't a rant. This isn't Americans are unhealthy and lazy. That take is lazy itself. This is an honest breakdown of the systems, habits, and emotions working against people every single day. My goal isn't to shame anyone, it's to explain what's really going on so you can see your own life a little more clearly. Let's get into it. 1. Time. The biggest factor is time. Between work, commutes, kids, and everything else, cooking a real meal can feel like a luxury. A drive-through run takes 5 minutes. A home-cooked dinner takes an hour, plus cleanup. This is true. Americans genuinely work long hours and have short lunch breaks compared to a lot of the world. But it's also a little untrue, because a lot of no time is really no plan. A meal doesn't have to be elaborate to be healthy. One parent put it simply, "By the time I pick up the kids, I'm not cooking, I'm surviving." Mini solution: batch cook 1 protein and 1 vegetable on Sunday. It's not glamorous, but it removes the decision fatigue on a Tuesday night at 6 p.m. 2. Cost, or the perception of it. Healthy food has a reputation for being expensive. And sometimes it is fresh produce, organic labels, specialty grocery stores like Whole Foods can add up fast. This helps explain real behavior. A family on a tight budget can get more calories per dollar from a dollar menu burger than from a bag of spinach. That's math, not laziness. But it also hurts, because it creates a myth that healthy eating always costs more. Rice, beans, frozen vegetables, and eggs are some of the cheapest foods in any grocery store. They just don't get marketed the way chips and soda do. A college student told me, "Ramen is $1, an apple is $1. Ramen fills me up longer." That logic makes sense in the moment, even if it costs more later. 3. Food deserts and access. In a lot of neighborhoods across the country, the nearest grocery store is miles away. But the nearest gas station or fast food chain is a 5-minute walk. This is a structural problem, not a personal one. You can't eat vegetables you can't easily buy. This is true in a very literal, geographic sense. But it's also not the whole story everywhere. Plenty of people with a grocery store nearby still default to convenience because the habit is already built. Access matters, but it's not the only variable. Mini solution: frozen produce sections exist in almost every store, including gas stations and dollar stores. Now, frozen vegetables are just as nutritious as fresh and last far longer. 4. Convenience culture. America runs on convenience. Drive-thrus, delivery apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats, gas station snacks, meal prep, in-a-box services, everything is designed to remove friction from eating. This helps in a chaotic world. Nobody's judging a tired nurse for ordering delivery after a 1-2 hour shift. But it also hurts because convenience food is engineered, literally formulated to be more addictive and less nutritious than home-cooked meals. The ease is the point, and the ease has a cost. Let's be honest, one worker told me, "If healthy food was as fast as a drive-through, I'd probably eat it more." That's a fair point. A lot of us would choose convenience too in the same situation. 5. Portion size and food culture. American restaurant portions are famously large plates that would feed 2 or 3 people in other countries. And bigger is better is baked into the culture, from all-you-can-eat buffets to supersizing at the drive-thru. This isn't really about individual choice at the table. It's about the norm being set before you even order. When the regular size is already large, it doesn't feel like overeating. It feels like eating normally. This helps explain why people eat more without noticing. But it also hurts because it resets what a meal looks like for entire generations. A simple mini solution here: sharing plates or boxing half the meal before eating isn't about restriction, it's about resetting the default. 6. Social and family habits. Food is emotional. It's tied to family, tradition, celebration, and comfort. Sunday dinners, holiday meals, the food your grandmother made. Telling someone to just eat clean ignores that a lot of comfort food is tied to identity and love, not just taste. This is true and beautiful, but it also creates friction when someone tries to change their habits and feels like they're rejecting their family or culture in the process. One person said, "My mum cooks with love. Saying no to seconds feels like saying no to her." That's not a small thing. Mini solution: keep the tradition, adjust the frequency. Not every meal has to be a holiday meal. 7. Marketing and food industry design. This one's less talked about, but it matters. The food industry spends billions on marketing engineered snacks, sugary drinks, and hyper-palatable meals. Foods specifically designed to make you want more. Grocery store layouts, advertising, packaging, all of it is built by people who study human psychology to increase consumption. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just how the industry works. This helps the companies. It doesn't help you. And it's genuinely hard to out-willpower a system built by scientists and marketers whose job is to make food irresistible. Here's where it gets deeper. Unhealthy eating isn't really about food. It's about what food does for people emotionally. Stress triggers cravings. Comfort food releases dopamine, the same reward chemical tied to other habits and addictions. When someone's exhausted, overwhelmed, or lonely, reaching for something fast and sweet isn't a failure of discipline. It's the brain doing exactly what it's wired to do: seek relief. And identity plays a role too. If someone has said, "I'm just not a healthy eater" for years, that becomes part of how they see themselves, and it's genuinely uncomfortable to act against your own self-image, even when you want to change. This is why information alone doesn't fix it. Everyone already knows vegetables are good for you. Knowing isn't the problem. The gap between knowing and doing is emotional, not intellectual. Here's what you actually need to know, stripped of all the noise. Healthy eating really comes down to 4 things. Protein, enough at most meals to stay full. Produce, some fruit or vegetable, fresh or frozen, at most meals. Processed food not eliminated, just not the default. Portions, awareness, not restriction. That's it. Not a 1-2 week plan. Not a supplement stack. Just those 4 things, most of the time. None of this is about being perfect. Perfect doesn't exist, and chasing it usually backfires. You don't need to overhaul your entire life this week. You don't need to give up the foods tied to your family or your comfort. You just need a few more decisions, most days, that move in the right direction. The system isn't built to make this easy. The time pressure, the cost illusions, the marketing, the convenience, all of it is real. But understanding why it's hard is the first step to working around it, instead of blaming yourself for it. You don't need discipline, you need consistency. The goal was never to control every bite. The goal is to control your food, not let it control you.